Hui, it's louisity again, and for this video, I'm going to be doing a reading vlog of The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan. Hooray! So this is the last book of the Heroes of the Olympus series. I was originally planning to create like a collection of book reviews of the 5 books in the series, but I decided I'll just do a reading vlog, and perhaps I'll just try to squeeze in some of my thoughts on the previous books and rather, kind of like focus on this one and hopefully, be able to reflect on my reading experience of the entire series. So yeah, that's why I decided to, do a reading vlog of this one, and I think it would be great to document my reading experience. So yeah, I don't want yet to finish, reading the series, but it is what it is, and I'm definitely excited to open another series in the future. Like I want to, after finishing this series, at least it gives me some sort of a ticket to begin another one, which y'all know I'm like in the middle of a lot of series. But without further ado, let's begin.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you.
So here's a reading update. Now I'm nearly 100 pages done, and I'd have to say that this one has a different vibe compared to the 4 books, the previous 4 books to be specific. Now, in the first and the second book, it still has this sort of kiddie or, the vibes about this is still similar to the Percy Jackson, the Olympian series, particularly the first 3 books. Now, and then the third and the fourth one, well, the third one got a little bit more intense, and the fourth one is really because it's their journey towards the House of Hades, which is definitely an intense journey. Reminds me of the Battle of the Labyrinth. You know what? Come to think of it, when I reread the Battle of the Labyrinth, I realized that, wow, House of Hades has similar vibes to it. Like it's like a place where they have to navigate through. And this one's really different because it starts, for some reason for me, it started like dark. It's like when you watch a film or a movie, it's like you got to see all these like dark, ghoulish creatures, and it depicted like a very gothic or dark, vibe. And it's definitely interesting how, things went through here. And also, I really like that part where, they were able to depict how Reina, was able to kind of like see how the other things are going through dreams. And that's has always been happening with, the demigods and the gods. They get to see, what's happening on the other side through dreams. So that fascinates me. And this is pretty intense, and we'll see how, if they will survive this journey. Definitely something that is interesting. And also I'm kind of looking forward, will Reina, Nico, and of course Coach Hedge, are they going to be able to return the Athena statue? Well, that is something that we gotta find out. So catch folks later. Okay, so another reading update now. So far the scenes that I've read were like about Leo and how he was reminiscing about Calypso, and how he and Percy are, going to figure out how they can, return and see Calypso again, from what I understand. It's like Percy made like a promise that, Leo's gonna see Calypso again, and that, they're gonna help her out or something, they're going to be back, and Leo was kind of like surprised at that. Also, I like the fact that Camp Half Blood was, revisited, and we get to see like what was happening. And yeah, and here's the thing, another thing that I also noticed when they mentioned about Nike, they mentioned like a 17th cabin, which is of course the aftermath or the result of, you know, all the gods being recognized, and that all kids will, all demigods will have like a place, or they will be, there was a term that they mentioned that they used to call, feel free to comment down below what word that was, or claim, there you go, claim. I think that was the word, be claimed by the gods. And now that they're going to be having, um, a cabin, in Camp Half Blood, and we get to see that cabin 17, the most competitive cabin. And also it's great to see Grover again. So yep. And also I've read like a lot of backstory about Nico, especially with his relationship with Hades, and how much he also cares about Hazel, and he doesn't want to lose another sister. And things are getting a little bit more intense actually. And I actually decided to peek to the next chapter after I finished the chapter that I just read. And I read, Orion. So we'll see what's going to happen. So catch you folks later. Well, I just thought about Cabin 17, and it reminded me of the K-pop group 17. Apparently, it's not Orion. So yesterday, I had a couple of live streams, one in Kumu for some reading sprints, and also for BLouRay Book Club for our live discussion of Shine by Jessica Jung. By the time that I'm uploading this video, we're already done with the live stream. So yeah, and I think also by the time that I upload this, the reading vlog is also uploaded. So yes, some reading update. Now we get to see in the next scenes Piper's strength, and how at this time she needs to use, or they need to believe in their emotions rather than their plans or thinking. That was very interesting. There were a lot of like backstories along the way that were being talked about, and we get to see again their ability to also witness the other side with their dreams. So that's pretty cool as always, Rick Riordan. And yes, and regarding Reina, yes, they're now in Spain. So we'll see how the Athena Parthenos and the journey of the rest of course, of our heroes, demigods. We'll find out what's going to happen to them. So catch you folks later. So here's another reading update. Now, I think I've already read about 3/5 of the book, and a lot of things have happened in the past pages. Now let's begin with, of course, first of all, just to clarify from the previous clip, it's in Puerto Rico and not in Spain. And I really appreciate the bond between Hila and Reina. And of course, what's interesting is that they mentioned Amazon here, and for some reason there was a part that kind of like made me think about Amazon, at the big company, and they mentioned about like the delivery services. So yeah, those are just some things as well. And they also get to meet Kim, where they have to deal with a storm, and Jason, gave her some sort of a deal in order for, for Kim to not align herself with Gaia. And there's something about also that scene when Jason's wound healed. I felt like there's something more to that. I don't think that the wound healed. And also, yeah, we get to also see the other side of Nico. He seems like more empathic, and yeah, he's showing a lot of empathy these days, especially with Reina. And we'll see, Coach Hedges' help when, summoning or calling Pegasus. So we'll find out what's going to happen. Okay, so far I am liking, Leo's light character, because I feel that in terms of his characteristics, I think it adds spice to the narrative by making like the quest more lighter in a way that him being kind of like chill yet serious when needed. It's like he shows himself being invincible, but not like too in your face. There's this sort of like calmness, and he's placid about it, and that makes like the quest much more spicy. So like the narrative is becoming much more interesting. Um, Actually, because so far to me, I felt like because of these like they go through a quest and a quest and a quest, like it's some sort of like stages, if that makes any sense. And these stages are not, they're they're intense, but they're kind of like, it's like you're going back to the Lightning Thief, or the Sea of Monsters. There's of course definitely variety. It's kind of like goes back to the like earlier books, which it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting for this to be much more action packed. It does have action, yes, and we can see that in the different phases. But at times it does feel like you know a bit like the Lightning Thief vibes, where they visited this place and they're going to be getting something. So but you know what? Because of the other elements that went through it, they added the circumstances, the context, just the narrative, just like um, blew up. Blew up in a good way, in a better way. And also, I really like, and another thing that I like, yes, would be Nico's like other side, because it's something that we're in, the way that he treated people was like unusual. Nico kind of like was sort of like reserved and kind of like distant, but here he kind of is getting to the point where he is reaching out to people, which you know gave like some sort of inner strength, that because of that inner strength, the narrative, the way that Reina faced her challenges, just she became more determined. And I just love like the surprises that came along the way. Actually, this clip, it wouldn't be a surprise anymore, because I just really want to share it. Like, I just am happy to see Ella and Tyson. Tyson is another character that brings spice to the narrative. Like his traits, basically his characteristics, to be specific, you know and facing, of course, the other romance. It was just fantastic. Yeah, and I really like the part where she was like protected. I can imagine it, like the cape glowing around Reina. So yeah, we're just hoping things go well with them. I'm just really looking forward about what's gonna happen when that day comes. And I was like really looking forward for that to be a highlight. But it seems like throughout the book, it's more of like it's going to that date, versus like we already reached that date and something kind of like happens. I was kind of like looking forward for that, but we'll see. We'll see how I'll feel about if I read. I'm near page 400, so yeah, still a little bit of a long way to go, because as far as I did peek, it has like about 500 pages. So we'll see about what's gonna happen next. I just want to say that I admire Piper's charm speaking skills. Now with Nico, I sense some sort of like hate to love, or some sort of a Tom and Jerry. And finally, the scenes are becoming more intense. So I finished reading The Blood of Olympus, and I have to say that overall, the story, the ending was good. I mean, in terms of like the intensity of the action with like Gaia and all these forces, it got pretty intense in the end. I just think that, since because this is going to be the last book, that it has been more action-packed, and like what I said, I felt like it kind of went back to like the first book, like, or The Lightning Thief, wherein there's like a series of quests rather than it really focused on the conflict. I felt like it could have been pushed more. Um, the intensity wasn't really there. I felt like there could have been more scenes that were depicted of how this is going to be the most intense war, if that makes any sense, even if it wasn't the intention or directly stated. But because this was the last book, I was expecting it for, a little bit more action to it. Um, we get to see like different contexts of the other characters that added narrative to the story, which is pretty good. Um, the ending, I kind of like predicted it though. I was expecting what happened to Leo in a way, although there was a little bit of towards the end that I didn't expect. So gotta read it to find out. Overall, the series was pretty good. I'd still have to say that The Lost Hero would be my favorite and would be the best, which, you know, I guess that's why the succeeding books didn't get like a perfect 5 for me, is because I think The Lost Hero like started it and like set the bar in my reading experiences. Um, so yeah, and what else can I say? I just think that whatever happens in like the other books, I know they're quite different. Yeah, I'm still looking forward about what's going to happen like in the Trials of Apollo. And also, if you're expecting for more Percy in this book, just set your mind that Percy isn't much like vividly or shown that much. You gotta read the book to find out. I mean, just saying. And but yeah, overall it was a pretty good reading experience. I'm glad that I was able to finish another series finally. And for this book, because I think that this book was better than The Mark of Athena, uh, but I have to say, like, yeah, I think I'd have to give it 4.25 out of 5 stars. So that's about it for this reading vlog. If you've made it this far, leave a musical score emoji or a G clef emoji. I don't know, I just feel like that will be the emoji that will be used for this video. And I hope you folks liked this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon somewhere down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. And also putting down links and handles of my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there as well. As always, thank you super much for watching, and always be thankful and unleash the reader in you. Bye y'all.